Esther, the girl who walked into the room. Once upon a time, in a great and busy kingdom filled with tall gates and winding streets, there lived a girl named Esther. She didn't grow up in a palace. She didn't wear a crown. She didn't think she would ever be a queen. She was just a girl, the kind who listened carefully. The kind who noticed small things, like the way light slipped through a window in the morning, or how voices softened at the end of a long day. She lived quietly, learning kindness and being raised by someone who loved her very much, her cousin Mordecai. He took care of her, he made sure she was safe. And in the quiet, ordinary moments, he taught her what mattered most: to be honest, to be steady, to remember who she was. And even when life feels uncertain, you are never without purpose. One day, everything changed. The king of the land was looking for a new queen. Messengers moved through the kingdom. Doors opened, names were called. Girls from all over the land were brought to the palace, and Esther was one of them. The palace was beautiful, shiny floors that reflected golden light, tall columns that stretched toward painted ceilings, soft curtains that moved gently in the breeze like they were breathing. But it was also very big and very unfamiliar. The sounds were different, the rhythms were different, even the silence felt different. Esther could have been afraid, and maybe a little she was. But instead of letting that fear grow, she chose something brave. She stayed gentle, she stayed kind, she stayed herself, even in a place where everything felt new. And when the king met her, he saw something special, not just how she looked, but the quiet strength in her eyes, the calm way she carried herself, the kindness that didn't need to be spoken loudly. And so, Esther became queen. A crown was placed gently on her head, but even as it rested there, shining and beautiful, Esther remembered who she was before it. But Esther held a quiet secret. She was part of a people who were not always treated kindly, a people who carried their stories in their hearts, and not many in the palace knew. Not long after, a man named Haman made a terrible plan. He walked with pride. He expected everyone to notice him. And when one man would not bow, his anger grew sharp and cold. Instead of choosing kindness, he chose harm. A law was made, carefully written, sealed tightly. A very unfair one. It said that Esther's people would be in danger. When Mordecai heard, his heart grew heavy. He sent a message to Esther, not to frighten her, but to remind her. Maybe, he said, you are here for a reason. Those words didn't rush her, they settled gently, like something she had always known but hadn't yet needed to face. Esther understood. She could stay quiet and be safe, or she could speak up and help others. But there was a problem. No one was allowed to go to the king unless he invited them, even the queen. If Esther went without permission, she could lose everything. So Esther did something very important first. She didn't rush, she didn't panic, she grew still, she prayed. And she asked others to pray too for 3 days, no distractions, no pretending everything was fine, just quiet. Just trust, because courage doesn't mean you aren't afraid. It means you trust God while you take your step. After 3 days, Esther stood at the door to the throne room. It was big, quiet, serious, the kind of quiet that makes your heart feel louder. Her hands were steady, but her heart beat fast. She could feel each step before she took it, but she didn't turn back. She took a step, soft against the polished floor, then another, and Esther walked into the room. The king looked up. The room seemed to hold its breath. Servants paused, guards stood still. Even the air felt like it was waiting. Then the king's face softened, and he held out his golden scepter. Esther exhaled. She stepped forward and gently touched it. She was safe, but she didn't rush. She was wise. She waited for the right moment. She invited the king to a meal, a calm moment, a quiet space, then another. And when the time was right, when the moment felt steady and clear, she spoke gently. Bravely, she told the king the truth. She told him about her people. She told him about the danger, and everything changed. The king listened. His heart shifted. The unfair plan was stopped, and Esther's people were saved, not because she was the loudest, not because she was the strongest, but because she was brave at the right moment. Cherry, what Esther teaches us: you don't have to be big to be brave. You don't have to be loud to make a difference. Sometimes bravery looks like telling the truth, doing what's right, taking one small step when it feels scary. And just like Esther, you might be exactly where you are for a very special reason. So when your moment comes,